And here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the September update 2021. Today, we will be hosting everything you need to know of what we have been doing in the last, well, almost 60 days since we have this kind of conversation. Today, we have also here also. Hey, also.
Hi, how are you? Well, I'm very excited to be here and to let all of our recruits and our community members know in all the amazing things we have been working on.
Yeah, and we think this is the best way to give you updates. So starting from now, this will work until further notice this way. We will create this live video each end of the month, meaning the next one will be end of October, someday there. The idea is we have to be really focused on trying to deliver on time. So the whole team is producing, generating assets, having a lot of stuff to do. So the idea is that it's easier for us and also for you to have one update each month. And it will be always the same format. We'll have presentation, video, update, news, everything to share. Today we have a 6 points agenda. This is going to be a long video, but I believe the updates that we will share will be amazing for you. So let's just jump in with the first one that it's Nereas in Kickstarter. So this is what it had been happening in a few days. So let's remember what it's an area. A lot of you are already designing it with all the dynamic we have in place, and we will touch that soon. But the Nereas are your virtual companion. And we want to create this different and amazing uh, partners that accompany us through our journey or our adventure. With that in mind, we decided. So, what's the best way to create Nereas? So, right now, you know Scrapper. Scrapper was in the demo in the pre-alpha test tournament. You know him. And the first question was, should we build one unique Nerea like a character that it's only like that and you can only see it that way, or should we try to create him or it some kind of skins? So we were working with the art design team and we tried to pull up some different skins to see how it could work. And the first one is, since Halloween is coming, we said, how about if we try to put some skins over Scrapper. Scrapper was our first test. So we created the Scrapper Frankenstein to see if it was a good idea. And well, personally, I like it. I believe that we can go this way, but we're still experimenting. We also say, okay, what else can we do? So we focus on an owner of a house. This time is Thunderstrike, and we say, how about if we generate a skin for a house? And we created this one. We got inspired with Thunderstrike the house to see if this worked, and we said like, yeah, Scrapper is it's a good Nerea. We can have a skin for Halloween or a skin over thinking or being inspired by the houses and recruitment centers. And then we said, how about if we leave it so everyone can mix them? For example, in this case, what happens if we take the Scrapper again, the Scrapper Nerea again, but we change them and put them some, I don't know, the body with Frankenstein or the head and the arms of Thunderstrike, and we create this thing. To be honest, it's not that cool. I personally don't like it. The team inside say like, this is not a good way to go. So we decided that, well, combining the same area with different skins is not a path that we want to go, because you will have this hybrid thing that they doesn't look so cool. So we eliminated this idea. Uh, right now, we believe that every time we create an area with a personality and with a name, we can also create some skins, uh, like Halloween skin or based in different stuff. It's something that we're still experimented, but we wanted to show you. Right now, Nerea is a big topic since you are designing one. Now, uh, our really talented team developed another area that I like. It doesn't have a name right now. Maybe in the future we can, as a community, try to figure out the name. But internally, we call him the Warrior, and it's pretty cool, right? This kind of samurai Nerea inspired thing. that went out there. So uh, we, with this in mind, after we created as a team the warrior, we have the same question: should we try to use the same concept of the warrior and try to change, for example, the background, and to change the idea of this is not a samurai, how about a Viking or something like that? And we tested. So remember, the idea is that the Nerea is called a warrior, but there are a lot of warriors in the world in different historical moments, or science, sci-fi, like brands and stuff, or only fantasy. So with this in mind, we said, okay, the warrior samurai is pretty cool. So we try another thing, and we did it. And as you know, we are from Latin America, so creating something like this was important to us, and we tried to establish or to use the same warrior structure, but to build some different skin that reflects a completely different feeling for the user. As you can see in this Mayan Aztec kind of Nerea, you have the background change, and also you have a different weapon. In the last one, you have a sword. Here you have this kind of stick with a
with the
stone
stone.
in, yeah, in the front. And I don't know what you think, but I think this is a really cool thing to go. Also, feel free to interrupt me. One
Yes,
thing
yes, yes. No, of
that we
course.
want to make, yeah, this update like super casual, like everyone is talking. It's more like a conversation, less than a presentation. And since we created three scrappers, we said, how about if we create another one? So this one is like the warrior peasant, this kind of farmer guy that needs to raise in arms because he's been attacked or something. And the result of this, and at last we try to
Yeah, we
like
try to
combine them.
also mix them. What we tried to achieve with this experiment was to divide the Nereas in different parts to see if we would, or in the future, it would be interesting to have combinable parts. But at the end, as you can see, the result, even if it looks good, it's not as cohesive and as uniform as a complete skin for each Nerea. So that's, I think that's the way that we are aiming and going in the future. We're gonna be creating different Nereas, and another thing, we want to make Nereas more important for you in the game. Also, that's something that we are working on. So we are working in ways to use Nereas not only in the combat simulator, but to see in which different areas of the game you're gonna be engaging and having your companion with you.
Yeah, I believe exactly also that when you watch them like this, and as a conclusion, is like Scrapper. It's a really powerful already concept with a background history that I believe no one knows, but it has one. And then we created the Warrior. And as you can see here, when you have one main character with a name and a specific background structure, personality, and stuff, you can build up different skins depending on the timing. Here in the example, we can see how the warrior Nerea is pretty cool by itself when it's not combined, and a scrapper that it's kind of a generic one that you had at the beginning. Everyone with the demo can see how it worked. But also you can have temporary, like let's make a pumpkin thing for October for the warrior. So instead of having the warrior that huge samurai helmet, he can have a pumpkin or something like that. So internally, and as a conclusion, we realized that we should not mix them, and we will keep experimenting with this one. So each time we evolve, each time we have a new update, we will be evolving, and the idea is to take you in this journey with us. Um,
Mhm. That's
Let us
correct.
know what you think about this new Nereas. Naturally, Scrapper one was one of the first one. Now the Warrior
Well,
is kind of more
one
complex.
important thing to note is that these are still concepts, so they are not yet in the game, but we are still working on seeing which is the best way to go, and we have we have had great success in some aspects of the Nerea design that I think I'm gonna be speaking about it in just a second.
Yeah, and just let us know which one is your favorite about the six, for example, and so we can keep going in the correct direction. Now, why did I tell you this? Because you're designing one area right now, and the final goal is to have something like the warrior at the end of this process, right? But also, you are leading this event. So,
Yes.
what about this? Talk to us.
Well, yeah. Right now, as you already know, some of the stages have already begun. We are designing the Nerea that's going to be given to all of the people that backed the Kickstarter campaign. And as we said, this Nerea will be designed by all of you, but especially by the founders. The founders, again, are those who supported us on Kickstarter campaign, and also anyone who buys anything from the bone during until the alpha is out, where until the beta is out, is going to be considered a founder. And remember, founder comes with voting rights, so that you can influence the future of the game. In this case, in particular, the design of the Kickstarter area.
Exactly. Just a quick reminder there, if you get a founder right by buying the alpha access or a caster or whatever you want to, you will have voting rights and your name in the game credits. And we will vote a lot of stuff right now. If you don't know, the Kickstarter Nerea exclusive, it's being designed as we speak. So make sure to check socials, the blogs and stuff to get involved. And if you're a founder, make sure to vote. And okay, so explain us also how has this
Yeah, and
journey
we
been?
thought it would be interesting for us to share through this dynamic that we're running right now with you how we design Nerea. So what's the design process behind creating a new Nerea? First of all, we need to decide. At the end of the day, we decided we're only going to have two different types of Nereas or of frames, which can be in any form or way or style, but mainly they have the same skeleton. First, we have the monobody or compact Nerea, as you can see on the left. It consists only on one big central piece. Um, you, the head and the body is combined with arms. And this let us have very interesting and cool designs. And on the right side, we have the humanoid that has a body and a head and the arms. And this is more versatile, and it's also very fun to play around. So first, we need to decide uh, which of these two we want to do, and why are we only sticking with these two frames? Because this will let us in the future that our Nerea share animations between each other, share dances or celebrations, or the way they walk or the way they shoot. So that's why we are doing like only two frames that then we can style in any different way. After we choose the frame, we choose the species. So what's our Nerea going to be? Is it going to be a food like the French fries you are seeing right there, or it's going to be a warrior like the one in the right, or maybe it's going to be based in a plant or a specific animal? And the subspecies is once we decide, okay, we need to create an animal. Which animal is it going to be? In this case, we went for a shark in this concept that you are seeing. So these are the first three general things that we decide, and then we go deeper and deeper. Then we decide the style, the art style. How are we going to decorate? Maybe it's more futuristic, or maybe it's more steampunk, or we go with a Wild Wild West kind of look and feel. And at last, we're gonna decide how is our Nerea going to behave and how it's going to look like. It can be a shy Nerea or a more aggressive looking Nerea. It can be strong or maybe seem fragile or cute. So that's the final things that we decide. And when we have all these concepts, we go on and to draw a couple of different designs. Our our team of artists work very hard with these concepts, and then we take the aspects that we like the most, and then we go into the modeling phase and the coloring phase, and then we work on the animations, and after all this is done, then you can see a new Nerea being born and be able to use it in the game.
And can I add something there also that I have? I mean, almost no one understands really why the Nereas can get this kind of any. Well, because you can make a banana French fries, a Roman
Yes.
warrior, or whatever. But as you know, Nerea, well, the bone is based in a science fiction world, right? Like we're looking towards to the future, not the past. In this scenario, we believe as a team that in the future you will have an AI kind. Today you can name it Siri or you can name it Alexa or whatever. But we think that in the future, I don't know, 20 years from now, 10 years from now, or something, a lot of devices will be connected and to you. And but each device will not have exclusive AI like today. So we think that in the future you will have one AI that you will buy, pay, subscribe, whatever, and the same AI will understand you. And after you touch or interact with every single object in your life, the same AI will remain in your fridge, in your, I don't know, shower to keep you the perfect temperature you want and stuff. So the idea of the Nereas is that one, that in the future you will have tons of robots, but with one single AI that it's called Abby. That is what you have. That's why we can create almost anything, uh, because first it's fun, it's cool to have, but we believe that in the future something like this
Yeah,
will
and
come.
also on a separate note from that, one other thing that we also believe is that AR or AR glasses, which is what we are pushing to for a future where AR is a is everyday or reality, that you're going to be able to put skins on these AI companions that you already have. A lot of people already has an Alexa or a Google Home device in their homes or in their daily life. But now imagine you could, using this AR technology, look at it and stand, instead of looking to a speaker, like just a plain speaker, you are looking to a cute uh, cactus or to a mushroom or to a shark
Exactly.
using AR. And then you get tired of the shark, and then you have a Roman warrior coming with you. So
Exactly.
this is the future we are, where we think it's going to happen. So that's why we are creating this in the game.
Yep. And also, your team, the art team, game design, have been working on new power archives and updates. So let's leave Nereas right there. Keep participating and voting for the Kickstarter Nerea design, but let's dive into power archives. So also, tell us about, well, what's
Yes.
happening right now.
Yeah, well, as some of you have tested different versions of the game, in the demo, you have only 7 or 8 power archives and power essence. In the alpha, previously we tested around 18 different ideas, but the idea is that when the next alpha test comes out, you're not gonna be using only 7 or 18 or 12 power archives, but we want to test out the entire family of power archives that we plan on having in the first version of the game. So that's going to be 30 total power archives, and with power archives come all the aspect that power archives have. There, this means new power essences in the exploration, which with which you are going to be able to interact. This means new game mechanics out there for you to discover. Here are some sneak peeks of what's of some power essence that you are not familiar with yet. I'm not gonna go into details into which one is which or what does it do does, because we want you to test them out. But
Yeah, we don't want to spoil there, right?
yeah,
I mean, one thing is we will never reveal information that will
yeah,
spoil you something that it's cool to discover, like the powers, what they do, and how to defeat them when there are essences, right?
yes, but well, try to figure out by how they move or the animation. What do you think these power essences or the power archives that come out of these power instances will will do. And actually, we're gonna see some of the new Power Archives, some sneak peeks, and what's the process to designing them. So first, we do like with the art team and the game design team, we create some. First, the game design comes with a specific requirement. For example, we need a new Power Archive focusing damage, or we need another Power Archive that has the paralyze effect or the delirium effect. This I think it's yeah delirium effect. So and then we create some icons and some drawings that we are gonna submit in one, and the art team begins working in visual concept that how we picture this both in they need to work both in the combat simulator and in the real world. And once we have the concept approved by game design and art and we are all comfortable with it, then we go on and begin testing them out and having the final design. Here is one that's going to be called Emerald Slash. um, I don't know, it might do damage, it might have an effect. I'll let you figure out. We're
Figure
gonna
it
see
out.
another one that it's called. This one's Amber Legacy. Well,
And
we didn't need the color at this point, but later on we added it.
I
Yeah.
have a question there actually about the process. I believe that the community that is watching right now is like, oh my God, that's the best job in the world. So your job is like understand what kind of power you need to make and say, hey, we need damage or paralysis or whatever. Then you team up with some art people and you say, what do you think if we do it this way or that way? But explain me the conversation. And for example, here we have three kind of dots. How is that kind of discussion? Because at the beginning, who or how or what is inspiring you to create, for example, those like kind of three dot things?
Well, I think inspiration comes from different parts. One of them, we use a framework that consists in, you know how Power Archives consist on, they have an effect, an attribute that comes from chromas or chromes, depending in which language you are saying. So let's take one that you already know. We know that we want a Power Archive that boosts your attack. So that's why, and we know that the chroma that boosts your attack is the tomato chrome, no, for
Yeah.
example. So then we take, well, tomato, and we combine it with a keyword that goes along with boosting your attack. That's where the keyword fury came. So now we have
Got it.
tomato fury being
Got
born. So in that case, Tomato Fury, then we go and develop different sketches or drafts that represent, well, a math tomato. So that's
it. Yeah.
how you went. In this case, it was more. It's this one's very very abstract because we went for legacy. So that's
Okay.
why it's kind of a DNA thing. This is more abstract because it's, well, legacy and DNA, you can see like how genes go though. So that's why this is like the triple helix from well, and DNA has only two, but in our case we went with three. So
Cool.
it depends. Sometimes it comes from the keyword we choose, sometimes from the attribute, if it's going to paralyze, or sometimes it comes from the chroma. So it depends. Each one is different.
Well, let's watch it then. So after that's done, that little, oh, okay, man, you have that moment. You have a
Yeah.
DNA running through the world to hit someone. Cool.
Yes. So this one's
Okay.
Amber Legacy, for example.
So far, let me be sure you first. So everyone can understand in, yeah, because they're part of this project. Is like to create a new superpower first. Game design decides what kind of crumbs and needs does the combat have. So you say, for example, with your team, we need something that heals because there are not so much healings. You decide and you say it should be a super healer, or it's like no, a little tiny quick heal to your allies or to your something like that. You go to art, you discuss, you get this, then you test it. Like for example, this one that it's I don't know doing
This one's
something to
this
you.
one's this one's very interesting because if you see the concept from before, um, the drawing,
Yeah, let me go back.
it's a projectile. And
Yeah.
when in this idea, the back and forth between game design and the art team, we well we kind of realized that a projectile didn't work for this specific um, power archive. That
Okay.
it needed to be an instant. It was better if this in particular was instant, and like for example when you put Persian Shield, that you
Yeah.
just cast it and it works. So this one's a cool way. If we You can see that the concept was one thing, but at the end of the day we went up with something very different. And I'm gonna spoil a little bit with this one. This one's going to be the first power archive that once you cast it is going to affect the entire opposing team. I'm
Okay. You don't
so
even need to hit them. It's like you cast
no,
it, everyone is affected. Cool.
exactly.
Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
And after that, you create the essences, right? The thing that we saw at the beginning. And those
Of
essences,
course.
you can find them in biomes, and then you have the full loop.
Perfect. That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I know you have also been working on effects, right?
Yeah, what we have been also working in revamping the entire app. We want you to experience a better app when you finally have it almost complete in the alpha test. So one thing that was a little bit off was the effects of the power archives. Why? Because some of them were, I don't know, I'm not going to say they looked bad, but they didn't really represent the aesthetic we were going for, or the animation between combat simulator and the real world was broken. And this is very interesting because Mark's going to talk about a new technology that we are working on, and we are actually going to be able to see the effects. Well, we expect, or Mark's going to go into the details, but with this new technology we have been working on, the effects that you see in the Nereas in the combat simulator, we expect them that you're going to be able to see them over a person in the real world. So that's why we needed them to be more cohesive between combat simulator, or how I call it, third person view, and first person view. So that's
No,
what we have been working in, making everything uniform.
and also it's just well, personally, I just like better the new one. Instead of just having some arrows going up, you have this feeling of something is involving you. And
Yes.
you're getting abundance, right? So that's one update in.
And here you can see how the arrows didn't match the effect that you are supposed to be seeing in first person. There are no arrows on the right. So that's why we changed the aura, so that, or the cloud that revolves around the Nerea or the person, to look more like the one on the right.
So,
So we're working in with all the effects in revamping the visuals on them.
and so everyone can understand this to video. So in the left you have the Nerea, how you will see it, and in the right you have the first person view when you use a headset in real life. Naturally, you will never be able to see yourself as the Nerea because well you are you and your eyes are the same thing. But third person people will see you like in the left, and you will see like in the right, something like this. Because after all this art testing, we go out into real life and we try to test them to see if it's working, how it feels, because all these effects should combine. And as I said, you're updating all of them or just some of them?
Well, the ones that need an update, but most of them are being improved in some way. You can
Oh,
see
this one
we
is
had,
cool.
yeah, we had a sword for the heart effect that made no sense, but we were using that. And if you go to the next one, you can see that the sword had nothing to do with the thing you are looking in first person, and now it does. Now this red cloud makes a lot of sense with the one in the right. So that's what we are working on right now. and we're not
Remember,
over yet, but that's what we're working on.
and as a quick reminder, hurt means you will lose life per second for a period of time.
Yeah,
So I
that's correct.
believe this is a great upgrade because you can see your team or your enemy is actually kind of bleeding, and
Letting
if you
each
are the one that it's bleeding, well, I believe it's well, you know it, right? If you're running and suddenly you have all this and you're losing life, it only makes sense.
Yeah, you can test this in the demo right now with Live Scott. I'm pretty sure Live Scott it's out there and you can test this exact effect.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about an update that I need to give. First of all, a quick and a very big disclaimer. This is not what I'm going to explain to you. This is not a fact, and I need you to completely understand this. Actually, some people internally weren't like so comfortable for us to tell you this as a community because it's not there yet. We're still testing, but we believe that the bone should be made by a community. And all of you have been following this project for a long time now. So we thought that we can be purely honest with you and tell you the upgrades, even if we're not sure if the tech is going to allow us to finish this. So let me explain you the updates we have today for the caster gear. So right now, your caster, it's made by three things, right? Your headset that would let you see the AR through the real world, your EPON that works as a control for you to cast your powers and throw them, and your phone that represents kind of the console that powers everything, and where you have your profile, your stats, your powers, your social relations, everything within the app. Cool. Well, uh, when we were testing, we realized there was some kind of problems out there, or things that no problems, but things that could be done better. And we want to make this experience, the real life experience, as well real as possible. Uh, so after the Kickstarter campaign and stuff, we start working on this concept that it's called the cube. Now, for everyone to understand, first thing is cube not necessarily will be the last name. This is a temporary name. Now, second, we cannot assure this is going to happen, but we want to tell you what we're working on because, well, you're part of this and you need to understand how the project is going. So, what's the cube exactly? Imagine kind of a cube of the size of your fist. So the idea of these cubes is that you're gonna place them in your actual arena. Remember, you can go to a paintball park and put them in the corners. You can go to your basketball court in your local community, and you will place four of these cubes in the corners where you want to create your arena. It could be a park, it could be inside doors, outside door. That's not a problem. You just install them really fast, put them in each corner, and they will communicate between each other and will communicate with each player. How does this work? Let me show you very our first tech test we did inside. So on your left, you're actually watching the first person view. As you can see, the player doesn't even have power archives because that's not the point. The point was to detect the arena. And in your right, you have kind of a third person aerial view where is the arena map and a player is that blue flower thing that it's moving. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'd like just to summarize what you're going to see, or what this technology allows us is to track the exact position of each player within uh, the arena. So this will let us, or will let you see real life graphics and visuals, and let the arena know where everyone is in the way that it works in video games. In video games, the system always knows where each player is in video games, in the computer or in your cell phone, but not in the real world. So that this could be a completely game changer thing that we are working on right now.
yeah, at the end, I'm going to explain you the game changers thing that had mainly three. But as you can see in the video, the first demo was Not so good, but it is what it is as a stake, and you need to test and test and test. Sometimes the arena just jump is not exactly in the corner, meaning if you see that, well, it's not so cool. The second demo was much better. You can see there's like a cube moving. That means where the player can see the actual superpower going from one way to another. And as also told you, we will know where every single player is. Now, I know you're watching this and it's like, what? What are you doing this? What are you showing me this? Because there's a process within a company and a product development and in technology to make this happen. And we thought, let's show them the raw stuff. Let's show them how we create tests like lab tests, because this is like a lab test, nothing else. The visuals are just cubes and colors. Uh, and then we have results, kind of this kind of results. And you're like, what? What the hell is that? Well, don't worry. The idea is that we're gathering information to make the best technology possible that we can. Now, before I show you the three things that are going to change, remember, this is not certain. We're still testing, and each month we will update you in what is working and what is not working. So, what happens if we are capable of creating the cubes, because in paper uh, this can be done, but it's totally different a theory that going into the practice. But three things will change. First, your status view. As also told you right now, if I'm playing versus Oso and I hit him, let's say with a hurt, like the same thing that Oso's watching right now, also will see his kind of bleeding or his HP is going down with the effect. But me, I will not be able to see in AR how also is have this power going on or this effect in himself. Meaning, I don't know, watching just through them, if my ally has a shield or if my enemy is bleeding or has a shield. Now, the way we fix it today is that you go and you press tab, kind of tab. There's no tab naturally. It's a combination of trigger and go down. And then it will pop up like a little screen that say also has a shield. If we're capable of developing this technology that is in progress, you will be you will actually be able to see also is wearing the shield, and you will see the shield. That's why also in the game design and our team changed the effects. Instead of having the arrows, for example, or the little sword that hit that we saw, then you will have all these things going around, because in theory, and if this tech works, we will be able to watch it. The second thing that is going to change is the concept of third person view. So right now, if I fight also, we can see each other powers and stuff, but a third person cannot watch it. With this in mind, we can, for example, have a drone, and the drone can see everything going around, all the powers being thrown, the shields and stuff, making esports a reality. If you go to a match, for example, in, let's say, in a stadium, and you place and you use a headset, you will be able to see everything, making the first technology-based sport as we explained you before. And the third thing, and probably the coolest that everybody's thinking of, is the concept of interacting with the object. So that object is not there. It's an AR object. The idea of placing these cubes on each corner is that it will generate an AR arena, and we will be able to place objects within the arena. They are not there. And this object can have three characteristics. First, just objects that doesn't move and are just there, but you can interact with them. The second one is objects that interacts with you. Let's assume that cube, we transform it into a tower. And if you get near to that tower shoots you. So now you have a tower in real life that it's not there, but it will affect the gameplay. And the last thing is that we can have moving objects, meaning we can have Nereas all over the place shooting you, or yeah, and shooting you, and you can kill them and are part of your team or not. Now, naturally, if we're capable of developing this cube technology as we think in theory work, and we're working really hard on that, the whole team is really focused on making this happen, because well, it's a game changer, right? It's like so cool. Just install those four things and boom, start playing with an AR arena. uh, a lot of game modes will be able think about you can fight a dragon if we want in a cooperative mode like five versus a dragon, or we can have a MOBA where the actual Nereas are running through a tower and the tower hits you and you see everything. So the opportunities are huge, but making tech is complicated and not always works in practice what it does on paper. So whether we'll keep you updated because we're really excited. This can change everything. Uh, right now we're not there and we're still testing, but we wanted to share it as a community because these 60 days have been intensively work. Well, was intensive work for all the hardware and tech people. We okay. So cubes, we will keep this conversation right now. Is what we have. That's about the caster gear updates, and we're including this cube thing system. Also, what about the app? Let's talk about that.
Well, yeah, one of the things that right now you cannot do with the demo that we are also working on in the game design. Um, but we want you to be able to have this social layer within the game. So we are adding the capability for you to add friends, to have friends inside the bone. So we are also focusing in creating this platform where you not only log in to play, but you also log in to interact with other people. So the most basic thing that we're adding is the capability for you to add friends and then play with them at the moment in the combat simulator. So that this was one of the things that a lot of you requested in one of the previous tests, the ability to play or to create a squad. Now you're going to be able to do that and to fight with other people in the app. So that's also one thing that we're working on. That's coming out when we release the alpha test for all
so,
of our alpha testers.
so if
Yes.
I'm gonna play Mobile Combat, for example, I can ask you to join my team, and we will be a team, and we will go against other teams, other people, whatever. Right? That's a
Yeah, it's like a traditional matchmaking that we
okay.
I don't know. It's not a new thing. It's a new thing to the bone
Yeah.
that you weren't able to do before. But now we are adding this feature, that the ability to have friends and play with them in the combat simulator. And later on, we will begin to grow this social aspect. We are still testing out or discussing some ideas. Maybe trade assets with your friends. Only if it's in person. I don't know. That's one idea that's out there, or maybe even I don't know. Creating at the house inside the game, or having this badge with your friends, etc. So right now we are well. This is like the first step to begin growing all the social aspects of the game inside the app.
Cool. Now, everything has good news and bad news, right? And we need to understand it that way. Each month, we will explain you what's good, what's bad, what's everything. But with every bad news comes good news, right? It's not fair to just say bad news and stay there. So let me explain you. In the at the beginning, we said that we were going to launch the alpha on September. Now is September. September is ending, and we will not release it. We will have a delay. And let me explain you why, because that's the bad news. So right now, the tech team, the software team, is making a restructure of the architecture of our servers because we added so much stuff. What means so much stuff? Well, first, we didn't have at the beginning the architecture to create friends. So, well, it is what it is. We needed to change it. Now, the our team and game design are adding a lot of assets that we kind of first need to test them and finish and stuff like that. And the architecture restructure is changing so we can support a lot more people and don't experiment like jumps in the game, meaning lag that today is happening. So we're not comfortable with the app we have today to give it to you as an alpha access. And so that's why the delay. the idea of the alpha is naturally is for you to test it, understanding that it's not ready, but there's always a line that it's consumer early consumer line. And if we're not even comfortable, like internally, like we're ready to do it, we will need to wait. Now, the idea of waiting of this, that I know it's bad news. Some of you are like, oh my God, I was supposed to be playing on September. The good news is that the first alpha will have a lot more stuff. It just not going to be the demo but with online mobile combat. It's gonna have more stuff that we will keep you updated. Now, when is the release going to be? We're not sure. It could be at the end of this year or at the beginning of next one. Uh, Probably in a couple. We will keep you updated on as soon as we have one specific date. Why this change of date? Why we cannot say right now a one day? Well, that's because of the good news that I'm going to touch in a second. Right now, what you need to know is that we are really focused on delivering the Cube experience, and it's taking longer than we expected. But we believe it's an amazing thing to invest, because if we are capable of doing that technology at the end, it will benefit all of us. Therefore, we need to use resources that were, when I say resources, I mean like human resources, our hands. Inside the team, we're not so many people, we're 12 people. So we are using those resources to focus on the cube thing. And that will generate a delay on the alpha that, depending on the results of the cubes, we will have in a specific day. That's the bad news while delaying it, but no worry, because here is the good news. Everyone comes with a bad news. So the idea is that I'm going to talk about recruitment centers, tours, and tickets, because it doesn't matter if you have a caster year or not. You will be able to experiment a whole experience in real life, because you are uh, part of our early community. Let's start again explaining what's a recruitment center. Well, first, you need to know recruitment centers are sold out. So if you want to do what I'm going to say, is not going to be an option. Uh, but let me explain you. So as you can see there, that is people that log into the bone in July. There's a lot of people. I'm showing you United States, a part of Canada, and Mexico. We have a lot of people out there. Right now, anyone, well, they are sold out, but they used to have the option to buy a recruitment center, get 12 of everything, to start renting it to the local community, organize events, and create the local community in the world. This is our actual community in July, where everyone logged in from Canada to Australia. So we are a lot of people, right? So this is what we want to make. So the next year, I will not announce the specific dates, but just to let you know, the next year, at early next year, somewhere between spring break and summer, we will create a tour. What means a tour? We will have, as the bone, we will go to the cities that already have recruitment centers and other cities that doesn't have recruitment centers. There are a lot of big points or specific zones where there's a lot of people concentrating there. So the idea of the tour is that we're gonna take a lot of gear, we're gonna go to those cities, and we're gonna create an event for you to go and play with us. Where there are more, if there's a lot of people in one place, the probability of us of creating a local experience there next year of an in and out, it's bigger. Right now we haven't decided the cities, so to let you know that if you're in a local community that it's really moving and you know people out there, make sure to congregate and keep participating, because the tour will be done in the cities where people is participating, getting engaged, watching, for example, this video and stuff, because it's the community that we want them to share the beginning of the experience. So this is just an example. For example, Texas. It's really big, Texas, but there's a lot of people concentrating in Houston, Dallas, Austin, and San Antonio. So in October, we will release the tickets, so people can start buy them. Some of them are free. all the mechanics and dynamics. We will explain it later with a blog, and you will get all the information. But the idea is that in October we will release the option for you to get an early ticket to this event. At that point we will say which cities you will be able to go to. For example, if we have a lot of people in Austin and in San Antonio, there are two really near places. Probably we will make one in the middle so both parties can come. It will be one weekend. And the idea for you is that if you have one of these tickets, you go there and you play all day, kind of a big party weekend thing we're gonna create. As told, I'm gonna release all this information on October. Tickets will be in the store. Some of you that already bought a caster gear will have special things. Some tickets will be free, so don't worry. The tour is expected to start in spring break and summer, and it will cover a lot of parts of America, not only US. We're going to go to US, Mexico, and Latin America. Same thing. How we're going to decide which cities depending on how many people is active. So make sure you stay connected, you stay tuned to this video, talk to your community, local community, like, hey, join us to this place because next year everyone will be able to play. We will go there, we will give you the gear with the app, and you will be able to play. And the other thing is that if you are an RC owner, well, we will directly talk to you if we don't already have talked to you, because your city is really important to us because there's already there a recruitment center. If you are someone that wants to buy a recruitment center, I'm sorry, they're sold out, but there will be a mechanic where you can fill some information and we will contact you to see how can we start working together even if we are sold out of the recruitment centers right now. And well, yeah, and let me know all the questions you have. I believe we're gonna hit an hour program almost. So let's make a quick recap, shall we? Also, you're still there.
Yeah, I'm still here. I was
Cool.
just listening.
Okay, so first thing of the quick recap is we're gonna have this kind of long videos each month, giving you all the update answers, showing you, sorry, all the stuff we have been making. Um, we'll have an agenda and expect one of this each month. I'm gonna go back really fast to see the agenda and make a quick recap for everyone. So we talked about, there you go. We talked about the Nereas. Right now, the Kickstarter Nereas running. Make sure you participate. And also remember to give us your comments anywhere. Go to Discord. There's a lot of community, active community there. Also in Central Command, meaning the web page, there are groups. Make sure to talk there. There's a lot of people. So if you want to interact with recruits and talk about Nereas, new powers, whatever you want, you can have them. And also our socials. There's a lot going on right now in Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram with the design of the Kickstarter. Now, the team has developed already 30 Power Archives in Essence. You already seen how it's made. Try to guess which one are coming. When you get the alpha, you will have all these. The caster gear about the cube, remember, is not a final thing. We're still testing, but we will keep you updated each month on how does that technology is going on, if it's working, and we will show you videos. The app, it has already the friends thing, all the new assets, but it's going to get delayed. It will not be in September. And recruitment centers, tours, and tickets. Recruitment centers are sold out. We will release the tickets on October, so make sure you get yours because there will be limited per city. Probably it will be 100 tickets per city, so make sure you get yours because it's gonna be first come, first serve. I believe it's everything. Also, I don't know if you want to add something.
Well, just keep engaged and keep following or put a lot of attentions in our socials. We're also going to begin changing the communication in our social networks and everywhere. Well, we'll begin having more dynamics like the one right now with the Kickstarter Nerea, where we are involving the founders and social networks to have this going, and we plan on having more of this in the future. And to all the founders, remember to log in to Central Command. There's where all the information can be found. And we'll see you in a month.
And if you're not a founder, make sure to be one because you are not participating with all the designs and the voting. We want to hear you, but we made this system because we want like people that it's really committed, and that's why we're giving the founding rights. So, well, I believe that's it. See you next month on something like this, and have a good one. Peace.
See you.
Bye.